This whole story starts with Toastmasters. I couldn't say my name in front of people. I was milking cows. I'd just gone through a divorce. I shed a lot of tears because it went so lopsided. I had to borrow money, buy my own cows back and machinery, which was actually bought by my brother who was supposed to farm there. He left after a year, and my parents came to see him and the farm. He said, I have to go back with you or I die. And so I went through a divorce, and he sold everything and took everything except the farm because the farm wasn't in my name. And I shed a lot of tears. And I thought, they have a group for everything. There has to be some place I can just shake if I want to stand there and shake. And I thought, college, I had not the money, not the time to go to that. There has to be somewhere. I had the radio on, and this woman, I've been thinking, what was her name? I know her name. It's 40 years ago, and I know her name, and I can't think of it right now. But anyway, she said, overcome the fear of speaking, join Toastmasters. And then it took 2 years to find out about Toastmasters. 2 years. I asked people about it and periodically, and they tell me all kinds of, it's all only for men and all that stuff. And then a friend of mine worked at the Mayo Clinic. She gave me a call. You want to know more about Toastmasters? Mayo Clinic at that time didn't have a club. And so she gave me the number to call. And I called, and they had 3 clubs at that time. And I can't think of the club that I joined. They met at the Episcopalian Church downtown at noon, which worked perfect for me because I was working at night at International Transport, which no longer exists, and then milk cows during the day, and the kids after school and so forth. So noon was good for me. And I called up. I said, what do I need? Oh, nothing. You just come and visit. If you like it, fine. If not, it's okay. And since then, I've been in Toastmasters. And I feel I owe Toastmasters the rest of my life, my contribution, the membership. So I am in here. Sorry, you won't get rid of me unless I go crazy, which I am a little bit already anyway. But you won't get rid of me. And as long as I can still drive, and I come till I kick the bucket. Anyway, so that's how Toastmasters started. And they were so kind to me. They said, how about your icebreaker? You want to give your icebreaker? I said, I'm not ready. It took me half a year or longer to give my first speech. But they were so kind to me. They said, don't worry, whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready. And it got a little bit better. And I had a clipboard in the barn. I think my speeches smell like the barn. I wrote thoughts down all the time. And then I practices on the little reel-by-reel tape recorder. Too long. I scratched things a half a year. Anyway, and that speech became famous. The first lady, Margaret Lex, she asked me if I could give it at that church. And I did. But anyway, further on, many, many years later, I saw Margaret Lex at Barlow's when it was Barlow's. They had a coffee shop and a restaurant. And I said, you probably don't remember me. No, it wasn't Margaret. That's a name I can't think of. It wasn't Margaret Letts. It was another lady. She was sitting there with her friends at the coffee shop. And I wish I could think. I know her name, but it won't come into the brain. Anyway, whatever her name is. And she was sitting there with Joyce Gibbs. And Joyce Gibbs, she introduced me to her. And then I saw Joyce Gibbs in the weird places over the years. And then we had the club moved around quite a bit, the one I belonged to, and we met in the mornings now at 7 o'clock. I got done at work at Madonna House at 6:15, and that worked out perfect for me. I go from Madonna House. I had all kinds of clothes in the locker. I changed my clothes, and I picked up, I can't think of names now, it doesn't matter. I picked up a guy that is visually impaired, and then we went to Toastmasters at, what's that place at the clinic that they have built, Dan Abraham. That's where we met. And I walk in and there's Joyce Gibbs. You know, I met her 10 years before that. And there she was again. I saw her in the weirdest places. And I said, oh, Joyce, she was having coffee there at Dan Abrahamson. And I said, she should join Toastmasters or come visit us. Okay, I will next time. So then she found out I was going on my journey, which you guys know a little bit about, 2-year journey on that solar-powered tricycle. And I already had that tricycle. And she says, bring it to Toastmasters. And I got it there. A day before, I parked it someplace, and then that morning I drove it to Dan Abrahamson. And then she came, she says, can I give a speech? Sure. She brought me a little puppy for that speech. She talked about my journey, and she says, I know you can't take a real dog with you, but I bought this puppy at the clinic, and they call him Dr. Jack, and it has a collar on Mayo Clinic. And so I had the bike shop put a holder on for that puppy. And anyway, so I took that puppy with me on my 2-year journey. And I don't know what state I was in. She gave a speech, and it was great and stuff. And I took the puppy as and I don't know what state I was in. State of confusion, obviously. But it was a big construction zone. And really long. We had to wait like 10, 15, 20 minutes. And I'm in the middle of a whole load of cars. And I keep up with the traffic. I have a motor on that bike. And I kept up with the traffic pretty good. And I get to the end, I pull over the side so the traffic can go past me. And then a pickup stops, and he rolled his windows down. He said, honey, you lost your little dog. That guy had to stop the traffic to pick that silly puppy up, Dr. Jack, and he stopped the traffic again to give it to me. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have stopped the traffic if somebody lost something in front of me. But that guy did. And he gave it to me. And I think that's so incredible. And that's what I found on the whole 2 years. Everywhere I went, I found good people. I never met a bad guy. The Lions had a special meeting for my benefit before I left. I had the bike a year before I left. And they wanted me to not do it. Then they wanted me to postpone it a year. I had made the date May 1st, 2015, a year before. And I said, I'm going to start May 1st, 2015. And that's what I did, no matter what. And the plan were totally different than I thought. But only met good people. I think when the bad people saw me, they hid. I think my age had something to do with it. And I'm just an average person, I don't know, but I never found the bad guy in the 2 years. And I still haven't found the bad guy. Mr. What is it? Oh, it's black, you can't see it, Mr. Toastmaster.